Hello students, good morning, welcome to my class. Well students, in history, the first lesson we were discussing about how, when and where. So far we have discussed the meaning of history and the how dates are important in history. So far we have discussed, and also we are about to discuss how do we periodize the history. So students, like I told you in the last class, the James Mill, he was the historian and a political philosopher from the Scotland. So in 1817 he came to India and he studied about our country and categorized, and he published in his 3 volumes book. So India was categorized, the Indian history was categorized as per the Hindu, Muslim and the British rule. Hindu, Muslims and the British rule. So ancient, other historians also classified our Indian history into medieval age, so ancient, medieval and the modern, like how the James Mill has categorized. As per the James Mill observations, students, so what he recorded in his books, in his 3 volumes books, what he recorded, as per the James Mill, he just compared our country, India, to European countries. He just compared our Indian countries, India, not only India, the Asian countries and the European countries. There was a compare and contrast between Asia and the Europe. So compared to Europe, the Asian countries are not developed. So developed in the sense educationally, technological, science, the social developments, the political developments. There was no proper education. So we are still behind. The Asian countries are behind compared to European countries. So this was the observation by the James Mill. Compared to Europe, the Asian countries are still under the darkness. The many of the people are illiterate, not educated, and superstitious belief, the practice of superstitious belief, the caste system. Superstitious means moodanambike acharane. So this was the observation and recorded by the James Mill. As per the James Mill, according to the James Mill, if the Asian countries want to develop, the British means the European countries must rule the Asian countries. Then only the societies of Asian societies it may change. They may see in some developments. So this was the main observation by James Mill. Of course, in 18th century, the arrival of Europeans, the arrival of the Portuguese, French, Dutch and the British, they started their East India companies in India, their business trading centers in India. And after the decline of the Mughal rule in India, the British started ruling stage by stage. They started occupying. So there was a concept of colonialism. There was a concept of colonialism. Almost by 18th century, so half of our India was under the control of the British rule, British East India Company. The company was ruling our country. While company were ruling our country, so there was inequality in our country. There was no freedom for Indians. There was an inequality because of colonialism. There was no freedom, there was no liberty for Indians, as well as the nobles, the nawabs, the small kingdoms, those who were ruling independently. They took the freedom of these nawabs, small kings and the rulers. So there was a colonialism. So what is the meaning of colonialism? So colonialism means controlling, means subjugating. So controlling vast areas, so politically, economically, socially, controlling and ruling without giving any freedom. So this is called colonialism. So they controlled, the British, they controlled us, and they put more tax and they started ruling in their own way. So it is called colonialism. So entire India was under the control of British. So entire India was colonized by the British. Okay students, just hold on, we will go to the next concept. Well students, the next concept is how do we know about the past? Well students, as you know that the sources, historical sources, the clues and evidences provides informations to know more about the history, So which are those clues and evidences? Okay students, let's just come to page number 5 in your textbook. Page number 5, administration procedures. Just underline what I say. In this paragraph, just underline the second line. Start from the second line. The British believed that the act of writing was important. Well students, whatever they introduced, the new concepts and ideas and new kinds of administration, it was in the written in form. So the concept was introduced, the concept of English writing, the concept of English was introduced by the British. They started the new schools in India, and the new kind of the way of learning was introduced. So these are all the record they followed, they kept for the reference. Just continue. Every instruction, plan, policy, the decisions, agreement, investigations had to be clearly written up. Everything, all these were written. Just underline these 4 lines and come to next paragraph. The British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. So like how you are going to preserve your SLS and HLS properly in a proper place, like that the British, they kept their records, the files in proper places. So that's why they constructed the libraries, museums, record rooms to keep all those written records. So at present, now also, so the British files, documents, whatever they recorded, it is present, still there. It is still there in museums. So we used to call historical documents or archives. We used to call archives. Okay, students. One of the largest library in our India, it was Imperial Library. So it is present. It is working in Kolkata. It is in Kolkata. So the Imperial Library is the largest library in our country. So here we can see many British sources, recorded informations. If we visit this library, we will get many things like this in important the documents, the records which was still preserved in museums and in the libraries. So these are all the sources of information, the clues and evidences to know about our past. Just continue students. In second paragraph, last 3 lines, record rooms, archives, museums were also established to preserve important records. And also come to the last paragraph. In the early years, the 19th century, these documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by calligraphists. The art of writing skill. Calligraphy means, it is an art of writing, just like a cursive writing. So later on, so these documents were translated into Indian regional languages, Indian regional languages, like for example, some of the English, the documents which was translated to Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, like that. On the basis of this, the main primary document, so it was translated in other languages. So like this, we will come to know about how the informations were recorded. So these are all provides clues and evidences. Just hold on, we will go to the next concept. Okay students, the next concept is surveys become important. So what is the meaning of surveys? I think this is the new term for you all. So especially the survey means it is a detailed observation. Survey means a detailed study, or it is a detailed investigation or observation on particular concept to know the status, So the British, for them it was a practice for them. So before starting the administration or ruling, if they want to admire entire country, so this was the main aspects they wanted to know. How is our country in all the field, or in all the aspects, in all the subjects. So that's why the British introduced the concept of survey on each and every disciplines, means each and every subjects. For example, so these are the types of surveys what they had in medieval age. So revenue surveys means just they wanted to know about the financial condition of our country, economical condition of our country. So this comes under the permanent settlements, the temporary settlements, and agricultural land, to know about agricultural land, the income from agricultural land, to know all those things, the tax system, to introduce this tax system. So revenue surveys, because this is the main important, because the financial and economical source is the main source of income for ruling. They just wanted to know about the revenues, the financial condition, economical condition of our country. Next is topography, to know about the condition of the soil, to know about the vegetations, the flora and fauna, means wildlife and the trees, the forest. They just wanted to know about the topographical surveys, the quality of soil, on the base of soil, which kind of crops the farmers can grow. So all those things. Next is census. Census means study of the population, to know what is the present population of the country. So they introduced census under Janaganati, the counting of people. So this is also, it is a kind of a survey. Next is botanical survey. So botany, the concept of to study about the plants, to study about the different and varieties of plants, whether it is medicinal plants, all those things. The botany, study of botanical survey. Next is zoology, study of wildlife, animals, study of not only wildlife, so study of microorganisms, bacteria, birds, aquatic animals, mammals, all those things. So zoological surveys. And archaeological survey, because archaeology, you know the concept of archaeology, you have studied in 6th and 7th standard. So archaeological survey means under the archaeological, the forts, monuments, historical monuments, fossils, all those will come. They just wanted to know about Indian history, how was our country in ancient and in the Middle Ages. So they conducted archaeological surveys. And the forest surveys, I told you before. And anthropological survey, anthropology, it is a study of human fossils. It is a study of human fossils. So did by studying, knowing about the bones of our ancient people. So anthropology, study of human beings, by testing DNAs, all those things. So these are all in a scientific way. So it is a concept of science. So these are the surveys the British were conducted and they done to know more about India. So it helps, the surveys helps the British to know more about our countries. Just hold on, students. Okay, students, the last point I will conclude with this. What official records do not tell? The British official records, usually what they do not tell. Just underline from your book, page number 6, come to page number 6. Just start from here. So they tell us, the official records, they tell us what officials thought, what they were interested, and what they were interested in, and what they wished to preserve of posterity. So these records do not always help us understand what other people in the country felt and what they lay behind their actions. I will explain this concept, just underline. So you know the concept of colonialism. Colonialism is there was no liberty, there was no freedom for Indians. So because entire India was under the control of the British, so whatever the rules, regulations they introduced, we must accept. In case if we go against to them, so a person was punishable, he was arrested and punishable, and he will be under the judicial custody. So this was the system was there. So usually what they recorded, so whatever they felt, whatever the new rules and regulations they wanted to introduce, those official records was, official informations was recorded, not Indians, not the feelings, the expressions. Some of them are rebelled against the British rule, many freedom fighters, yes or no? So these were not recorded. So whatever they recorded on the favor of the company rule, on the favor of the British rule, not on the favor of the India. And later on, so when Indians become educated, when the Indians made some associations regarding the freedom movement, freedom fights, so it was slightly changed. But in initial stage, the British not recorded each and everything. They recorded as per their ideas and their knowledge. Just read the rest of the paragraphs, you will come to know. And this much is enough, I think you will understand this concept. Just read the lesson once or twice, you will come to know. If you have any doubts, please contact us. We are here to help you. So this is about the first lesson in history. Thank you.